Hello, my dear students. Today we begin a fascinating journey into the world of the skin. Have you ever thought about how important our skin really is? It is not just a simple covering, it's a protector, a sensor, a regulator, and even a healer. That's why we call the skin as jack of all trades. In this chapter, we will discover how our skin shields us from harm, helps us feel the world, controls body temperature, and perform many more surprising tasks. Let's explore the amazing world on the outside of us, that is the skin. The syllabus includes structure and functions of skin, various parts of the skin and their functions, special derivatives of the skin with reference to sweat glands, sebaceous glands, hair, nails, and mammary gland. Heat regulation, vasodilation, and vasoconstriction. The skin is basically the largest organ of our body. It accounts for 15% of an adult human's total body weight. Primarily, the skin is an almost impermeable barrier. The skin as not just a simple covering but one of the most active organs of the body. Skin as the outermost covering of the body, it is stretched all over in the form of a layer with many structures and glands derived from it. This is the hair as a skin derivative. This is the sweat pore. This is epidermis. This is the sweat gland or the oil gland. This is the dermis. This is adipose tissue. Hair follicle. The hair follicle is located just beneath the hair. There is artery, hypodermis. There is vein and nerves. This is the structure of the skin. Functions of the skin. The skin or integument serves many important functions listed pointwise. Protection, this is the main function. It protects underlying tissues from mechanical shocks. It prevents excessive water loss. It prevents entry of harmful substances or germs. It protects against excess ultraviolet light. Sensation, it acts as a sense organ for touch, pain, pressure, heat, etc. Temperature regulation, it prevents heat loss in cold and facilitates heat loss in hot weather. Storage of food, it stores fat in a special layer. Excretion, skin helps in excretion of water, salts and limited urea through sweat. Synthesis of vitamin D, on exposure to sunlight, skin synthesizes vitamin D. Grip, the ridges and grooves on fingers and palms improve the gripping with the help of the skin. Structure of the skin, classification of skin components. Skin proper, there is two structure, epidermis and dermis. Epidermis is cornified, granular and germinative layer. Dermis is the elastic fibers, blood vessels and nerves are present within dermis. The derivatives of the skin are hair, nails, mammary glands, sweat glands and sebaceous glands. The skin proper, the microscopic composition of the skin proper, that is outer epidermis and the inner dermis. Epidermis, epidermis is the outer thinner part of the skin. It is made up of stratified epithelium or layer after layer. It becomes thin and hard at palms, soles and heels. There are no blood vessels in the epidermis layer. Three regions or sublayers of the epidermis, the cornified layer or stratum corneum, granular layer, and the third one is the malpighian layer or stratum malpighi and germinative layer. Cornified layer, it is the outermost layer, several piled up layers of flattened dead cells, cells made up of protein keratin. They are found also in nails, hairs, horns, silk, etc. They are constantly shed and replaced. They provide resistance to mechanical damage, bacterial infection and loss of water by evaporation. Granular layer, it is a thin middle layer, 2 to 3 sublayers made up of flattened cells. This granular layer lies below the cornified layer. Malpighian layer or stratum malpighi or germinative layer, it is the innermost region of the epidermis. Their cells is actively divided to produce new cells. It pushes old cells outward. It contains melanin pigment and responsible for skin complexion. Different melanin amounts lead to differences in human skin color, that is Negroes genetically dark skin, Europeans light skin or whitish and Indians are intermediate or wheat is. This is the dimensional diagram sketch of microscopic structure of human skin. The human skin pigments act like an umbrella to protect inner parts of the body from the harmful effects of ultraviolet rays of sunlight. That's why as much melanin pigment is found in the skin, or as much dark complexion, it makes the people protect from skin cancer, or from the ultraviolet rays of sunlight. Abnormal conditions of skin pigmentation, leukoderma, it is also known as vitiligo. This is the image showing the leukoderma or vitiligo. This is a patchwork formation between the darker region and the whitish region. There is a excess of melanin is in the dark region, and there is lack of melanin in the pale pink region. It is defined as the loss of skin pigmentation or melanin in smaller or larger patches on different body parts. The cause is unknown. Albinism is the complete loss of pigmentation of the skin, and here including eyebrow, eyelashes, iris, etc. Albino skin appears pinkish due to visible blood capillaries. It is inherited as a recessive trait. Albino parents produce albino children. Dermis. Dermis is the located under the epidermis. It is defined as the inner thick connective tissue layer with elastic fibers. The properties include tough and flexible. The thickness, the dermis layer is thick on palms and soles. They are very thin on eyelids. The dermis contains blood vessels, nerves, sensory organs, hair follicles, sweat glands, and sebaceous glands. The note: leather comes from the dermis of animals. This is the dermis layer. Just beneath the epidermis there is dermis, and beneath the dermis there is hypodermis layer. Papilla. The outer dermis forms numerous cellular projections like papilla with blood capillaries and nerve endings. Their functions in sensation of touch and pain. It enables blind people to read braille characters. This is the function of the braille character. The touching or sensing the braille character is the function of the papilla of the dermis layer. Deeper parts, receptors for pressure, pain, heat, cold are located in the dermis part. Fat. The layers beneath dermis contains fat cells or adipose tissue. It functions as food reserve, heat insulation, and shock absorption. Derivatives of the skin. Special derivatives of human skin include hair, nails, sebaceous gland, sweat gland, and mammary gland. Hair. Hair consists of three parts. This is the hair, hair shaft. This is the hair shaft. Hair root. This is the root, and the hair shaft is the projects above epidermis, and hair root embedded in dermis, and hair bulb extended expanded root part contains hair papilla with blood supply. Hair follicle, it encloses the hair root made up of epithelial and connective tissue sheath. Hair growth occurs by new cells at the base. Hair color, it depends on melanin, gray or white color due to loss of pigment, presence of air spaces. Goose flesh, it is experienced in cold or emotional situations. Hair is lifted due to contraction of erector muscle or erector pili muscle. It causes wrinkled skin. Hair cycle, scalp hair, it lasts for 2 to 5 years, and eyelashes or eyebrows, it lasts for 3 to 5 months. Forensic importance. Hairs are basically from different body parts like head, chest, arm, feet, beard, nose, etc. So subtle differences, and they are useful in investigation. Additional functions. Hair provides sensation of touch since nerve fibers extend up to hair bases. Hair, like eyelashes, grow along the edges of the eyelids to stop dust or raindrops from entering their eyes. Similarly, nose hair prevent dust particles from going into the nasal passage. In men, facial hair such as mustache, beards also appear, which help in distinguishing males from females, that is sexual dimorphism. Nails. Nails are keratinous. They are plate-like structures formed by dead cells from nail root. Parts of the nail include nail plate. It is the hard outer part made up of dead keratinized cells. The bed or nail root, it is lie below the nail plate. Matrix, below skin surface, there is at the nail's base visible as a whitish half moon region. It produces new cells that push older cells outward and causing nail growth. Sebaceous gland. Sebaceous gland, there is a branched gland opening into the follicles, sometimes directly to the skin surface. They secrete sebum. or an oily secretion that lubricates hair and skin, makes them waterproof and prevents water loss. In cold or dry weather, skin may become rough due to reduced sebum secretion. In hot or humid conditions, extra secretions make the skin oily. Common problems: pimples. Sebum accumulation promotes bacterial growth, causing boils or pimples. Acne. Inflamed sebaceous glands due to hormones, common in adolescent periods of the boys and girls. Blackhead. It is the enlarged sebaceous glands oxidize sebum, turning black. Now we'll go for the sweat glands. Simple coiled tubular glands with a secretory part and an excretory duct opening at the skin as sweat pores. It is estimated nearly 2 million sweat pores in the human body, and hot climate populations have more. Sweat pores, the number varies from 60 to 80 per square centimeter on the back and 400 per square centimeter on palms. More numerous on palm due to surface tension for gripping. Function of sweat gland: it absorbs fluid from the surrounding cells and secrete via sweat duct. Sweat contains 99% of water, 0.2 to 0.5% salt, mainly sodium chloride, and urea approximately 0.08%. It helps regulate body temperature via evaporation. Excess sweating can cause dehydration and severe pain. Cold sweat may be due to fear or nervousness. Mammary gland: modified sweat glands present in both sexes. It is rudimentary in males, it is functional in females, forming breast. In female, they enlarge at puberty and develop ducts, areola and nipple. This is the image showing the anatomy of the female breast. This is a mammary gland. This is the lobes, lactiferous duct or milk carrying duct. That is areola. That is the sagittal or lactating structure. This is the lactiferous sinus. Mammary glands: there is about 15 to 20 milk ducts open at the nipple. Each duct branches to form 15 to 20 lobes of mammary glands. Their activity is regulated by reproductive hormones like prolactin and pregnancy. They produce milk which is highly nutritious for the newborns. Meibomian gland: this is the meibomian gland. This is located just beneath the eye. It is modified sebaceous glands located on eyelids. They secrete an oily substance to lubricate eyelid margins and prevent tear overflow. Ceruminous gland: it modified sebaceous glands in the auditory canal. They produce cerumen or ear wax, which lubricates and protects the ear from dust and germs. Skin and heat regulation of body: endothermal or warm-blooded animals like mammals and birds maintain a constant body temperature regardless of the environment. Ectothermal or cold-blooded animals like amphibians, reptiles or fishes depend on external temperature. Human body temperature varies between 37 degrees Celsius in the mouth, more or less 1 degree Celsius higher in rectum and 1 degree Celsius lower in armpits. It varies by 0.3 to 0.5%, 5 degrees Celsius in a day, lowest in early morning and highest in late afternoon. It rises above normal, so indicates fever or sickness. It fall below normal, it is dangerous. And normal working temperature is 35 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius, which is essential for enzyme activity. Now we study heat production, sources of heat production in the body, chemical reactions in cells, that is oxidation in liver, muscular activity, it is the major contributor of the heat production, and food ingestion is another, but it's small contributor of heat production. Poikilothermal, they varying body temperature. Homeothermal, they have constant body temperature. Ectothermal, the heat comes from outside, and endothermal, heat is generated from inside. Mammals and birds are endothermal. Reptiles, fishes and amphibians are ectothermal in origin. Now heat loss. Heat is lost from the body through 4 channels. Skin: about 85% of heat loss occurs through the skin by conduction, convection, radiation and evaporation of sweat. Lungs: heat is lost in warm air exhaled and through evaporation of water in lungs. Urine and feces: the waste materials carry away body heat. Foods: heat is lost when cold foods, water or beverages are consumed. Temperature regulation: the hypothalamus in the forebrain acts as the body's thermostat. When the body is cold, it switches on heat producing processes. When it is overheated, it switches off heat production and speeds up the cooling process. When body temperature falls, blood vessels constrict, so that heat is conserved. Sweat glands do not secrete fluid. Shivering or involuntary contractions generate heat, which warms the body. Then heat is retained, normal body temperature. Then when body temperature rises, blood vessels dilate, resulting in heat loss due to environment. Sweat glands secrete fluid. As the fluid evaporates, heat is lost from the body, so heat is lost to the environment and normal body temperature. In cold weather, what happens? Blood vessels undergo vasoconstriction. This is the image showing the narrowing or vasoconstriction of the blood vessel, leading power supply to the skin and less heat lost. Skin appears pale or bluish, sweat secretion decreases and metabolic activity increases, causing shivering. In hot weather, blood vessels undergo vasodilation or widening, it increasing blood flow to the skin. More heat is lost by radiation and sweat evaporation. Air movements aid evaporation, giving a cooling effect. Vasoconstriction, arterioles constricted. This is the first one. In cold weather, vasoconstriction is the arterioles get constricted, less blood flow occurs in capillaries, and little heat is radiated. In case of vasodilation, arterioles dilated, more blood flow in capillaries occur and much heat is radiated. What happens in case of heat stroke or sunstroke? It occurs when the sweatening cannot keep up with heat evaporation in hot conditions, and it tend to leads to fever. Prevention: drink plenty of water and consume salt during the summer. Points to remember: the skin serves many functions such as protection, sensation, temperature regulation, storage of food, excretion, and synthesis of vitamin D. It is composed of two main layers: the outer thinner epidermis and the inner thicker dermis. The epidermis has three sublayers, and the outermost layers of flattened dead cells or protection. Thin middle layer, innermost malpighian layer, they produce new cells. The dermis is made up of elastic fibers and contains sensory cells for pressure, touch, pain, heat, and cold. Beneath the dermis, there lies a fat layer which acts as food reserve, heat insulator, and shock absorber. There are five special derivatives of skin like hair, sebaceous or oil glands, mammary glands, sweat glands, and nails. The skin regulates body temperature by preventing heat loss through hair, fat, and vasoconstriction, or promoting heat loss via sweating and vasodilation. So dear students, today we discovered how the skin is truly a jack of all trades, from protecting us against germs and injuries to helping us feel touch, heat and pain, to controlling our body temperature and even healing wounds. The skin never stops working for us. It is not just a covering but a living, active organ that keeps us safe and balanced every moment. Truly, our skin is both a shield and a sensor, a protector and a regulator. Thank you for watching. Take care of your skin, stay curious, and I will see you in the next class. Thank you.